Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Latinsplaining. My name is Denise Gonzalez. For those who do not know me, for those who do, I hope you guys have started this week and starting with, oh my God, our workouts. I know I'm coming in an hour late, but trust me, I overextended myself and the gym. It was leg day, and if you have done leg day, you know how leg day goes. Okay, I don't need to expand on this. But definitely, it has been an amazing Monday for me. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. It's nice to be here. I hope you started this week with a productive mindset, just like I did. And I want to welcome everybody in the chat. I see that Jose JS is here. And also, we have a new subscriber here, Rolando. Welcome very much. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for allowing me into your homes and your devices. And before we start this show today, I want to remind everybody to follow me on Instagram and also to like and subscribe if you haven't done so, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me grow my channel. Thank you very much, guys, for those who already subscribed, but also don't forget to like this video if you enjoy my content. Now, without any further ado, let's start today's show.
To the next level.
Now, guys, today's news, I'm guaranteeing you it's going to be funny, and then it's going to go there. You'll understand when I start. I don't know how many of you guys had the opportunity to watch yesterday our No Bullshit show. I'm telling you guys, I had to bring that up. If you have not watched it, trust me, the joke of the day was hilarious, and it's part of the news that I want to bring today. And it's something completely funny, out of this world. You guys know I love to bring in the humor also. And I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, I actually posted it over there. The situation with grocery stores, Mr. Special, demanding that people look a certain way they could not have tattoos, piercing, sunglasses, caps, tennis shoes, no mini skirts, no cleavage in the woman, and a lot of stuff that was just outrageous. And we also compare them to how the US, for a similar job that pays even more than the $725 that employees in Puerto Rico get, they're even getting 14 and 15-year-old kids to work, and they're not asking for any of these stupid regulations. Well, Mr. Special today sent a letter from their human resources, and basically what they said is that the paper that has been circulating lately was redacted 10 years ago, and they have not upgraded it to something different, but that they have over 16,000 employees that are the living testimony, according to them, to the diversity and the inclusive, quote unquote, inclusive nature of Mr. Special. And let me tell you guys, this was hilarious because I see that Smoothie's here. Hi, Smoothie. Yeah, definitely. It's something that it's insane, because I don't know if you guys know, but with the C-19 letting people into this crazy lack of financial stability, now everybody's looking for whatever jobs just to get ahead. And the fact that they're demanding so many things, just for what? For a grocery store? Come on now. If somebody wants to work, especially in an island where resources are very limited and job opportunities are even more limited, come on. You have people from all backgrounds that probably don't have access to what you consider a good dress code. Now, let's just that has been the joke of the day. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes, of the employees now at Mr. Special. They're going to be hilarious. We see Ola Bor walking into Mr. Special for a job application, being the example. Always dress up nice. She brings in the goods. We also have seen this one. This one is hilarious. And they're asking this dude, where is the wedding? He's like, wedding? I'm going to a job interview at Mr. special. It's been ridiculous and also funny because, like I said, right now, a lot of people are looking for jobs. We're not coming from, a good financial standpoint. And even though, some of us are more ahead than others, we cannot forget the people that are actually in a very tight situation and also that have depleted their savings to actually survive this lockdowns and the C-19 pandemic. So definitely that was hilarious to see how ridiculous Mr. Special and many other companies in Puerto Rico are demanding this from their employees. Now, moving from the funny side, let's talk about this. Okay. In Peru, tomorrow, they're going to officially announce Pedro Castillo as their new president. And I don't know if you guys have been in touch with the elections, but the elections in Peru they have been crazy, guys, to the point where even though Pedro Castillo won by a very, very small margin, we're talking about he won with 50.12% of the votes. So it was a very tight situation compared to what the JNE party got, and they decided to do a second count because they could not believe that this man that the people protested to have him have won. Now, I'm going to insert my opinion even though nobody asked, but I'm going to say this. Look, I'm not saying that Pedro Castillo is the solution, but we have seen how Peruvians have been experiencing a lot of craziness that doesn't work. Like their capitalism is not properly implemented. They don't have a lot of, guidance on how to do this. And it is, in my opinion, of course, I don't necessarily feel good that Pedro Castillo won, to be honest with you. But at the same time, we have to, abide by what the people decided. And this is who they wanted. They even organized protests to actually, remove the oligarchs that have been running Peru, and people are coming from all kinds of backgrounds because they want to feel a sense of freedom. And Pedro Castillo was just that person. He made himself look like the person that people want to rule them, basically. Now, the scares with Pedro Castillo come as, unfortunately, somebody that might implement some kind of communism or a coup to a degree, and that's what's scary. I'm also scared for that. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but to be honest with you, I do feel good that at least we got some sense of democracy down in Peru. I see that Music Only says Pedro Castillo me agrada. He's a cultural conservative. I'm sorry, and definitely, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, we have to give him the opportunity. We know he's not going to address certain things with a lot of aggressiveness at the beginning because he has to portray that he's benevolent. But I will be watching really close, what happens with Pedro Castillo from this point on, because like I said, tomorrow he will be announced officially as the winner of this election, and he will assume power in July 28th in Peru. So we're going to keep a very close eye as this story develops in Peru. We're going to be watching if this actually is the solution for the Peruvian people, or if he's going to send them into a regime like we have seen our brothers and sisters in Cuba and in many other Latin countries where we have seen dictatorships being implemented. And at the beginning, people are supportive, like it happened with Maduro. A lot of people supported him, and it backfired. So like I said, I will be looking very closely into this because to me, I'm going to tell you something, guys. I don't know if you guys have watched this new show on Netflix called How to Become a Tyrant. If you have not watched that, let me tell you something. You are missing out. Okay. And one of the things that impressed me about this, that I have seen myself in Latin America, how this has happened, is that this is the playbook that a lot of dictators and tyrants actually follow. A lot of them portray themselves as a people person, and eventually they become this horrible, bloody, dark dictator that puts their people through a lot of situations that are unwelcome and are non-productive for the collectivity. Now I see that music only says, I never understood why Peru had Chino presidents. Make no sense. I'm glad they have an Indio in power. Yeah, I'm glad that they have one of their own. Don't get me wrong, the Fujimori reign, it's done. There's no way we are going to have non-Peruvian people in power. It's time for us to become autonomous in that aspect, and I commend them from that for that. But to be honest with you, it's a little scary. But at the end of the day, like I said, we have to try something new, because what if it works? What if this becomes actually something that brings the Peruvian people the advancement and progress that they need so desperately? So, like I said, I will be watching this situation with Pedro Castillo very closely. Like I said, it's something that is just brand new. We have had the Fujimori for way too long, and they were the ones with the JNE fighting this thing and saying all kinds of stuff, coming back and forth, and actually made and forced a recount because they could not believe that Peruvians were fed up with them and wanted them out. I see that Terrell says most presidents of South and Central Latin are usually run by white, Hispanic, Latinos. No, this man is this. Most of these countries are not run by white Latinos. Terrell, look into them. You'll see it. Blood Moon says that man looks indigenous. It is always better to elect your own. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Blood Moon. It's better to just roll the dice with your own. And if you don't like it, then just kick him out. But to be honest with you, it's better to just stick to your own wine. And even if it's bitter, it's mine. Okay. So definitely, that's my opinion. I don't know if you guys actually agree with Pedro Castillo being in power. I don't know if you guys like it. Let me know in the chat. What do you think about this whole election drama that the Fujimoris put the Peruvian people through? It's insane. It is insane. I'm telling you. If you have not watched what has happened, trust me, it has been insane. But like I said, congratulations to the Peruvian people for making their voices heard, and also show the Fujimoris that they were going to triumph over whatever the hell they were trying to do to them and force them to another term with them when that's not what the people wanted. So to see this, it's kind of still scary, but it's a positive thing because we're moving towards autonomy and sovereignty within our own. I just hope, like I said, this does not turn into another Maduro situation or Fidel Castro situation, and it ends in what we're seeing now with Cuba. It took them 63 years to actually uprise against a regime. I would hate to see Peru go into another regime, and the Inca empire has risen up again, in my opinion, and I'm here for it. Okay, so guys, this has been the news for today, and let's dive in. Now, guys, today's main topic, it's going to be fun, it's going to be light, but it's something that is really real. And to be honest with you, I am guilty again. I started this channel, like I've told you have told many of you guys several times, not because I'm perfect, not because I'm the most, financial, knowledgeable about everything that happens and the economy and also into our stock market and whatnot, but simply because I've made these mistakes myself. I have learned from them. I've seen the true cause of them, and I wanted to share with you guys ways on how we can avoid them work through them and actually wake up from our own financial laziness. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on was the real cost of eating out. How many of you guys eat, you know, out more than 3 times a week? I want you to put number one in the chat if you guys eat out or order something out more than 1 time per week. I want to know that. In the meantime, while you guys respond, I want to share with you guys something that I posted on my Instagram several weeks ago, and it's this: the true cost of eating out is it's something that many people don't consider, but that's a money pit, in my opinion, because to be honest with you, and this was, I would say, in the middle of the pandemic still. I don't know how many of you guys have gone out and seen that your favorite drinks and food sometimes are not available. There's a lot of shortages, and that what that creates for all of you guys that don't know this, what that creates is inflation. Because if there is a very small supply of a product that is needed by so many, eventually it will become more expensive, and because of that it will be translated into higher prices, I'm sorry, for food, and that's what you will pay eventually when all of these things keep going up. The average meal out costs 13% per person. The average meal prepared at home costs $4 for groceries. And if you subtract the real price of eating per meal in the house, you save $9 per meal. Now, if you invest $9 per day with a 10% of return over your investment for 40 years instead of eating out, you will get in 40 years 1.4, almost $1.5 million. And that's the amount of money that we're talking about. And I wanted to share with you guys certain things. I see that Godbody says one, yeah, a lot of people. I see that Rolando says, I tend to eat out a lot. Trust me, we've all been there, especially with this pandemic. It's been insane. I see that the only JS says, my mom just brought a lot of food home from Walmart on the weekend. No more fast food for us for now. Your mom is a very intelligent woman. Rolando says, it's extremely expensive as well. Yes, it is. It is. It is. Blood Moon says, I eat out once a month. In the summer, a little bit more because I am outside. Yeah, definitely. I see that Jose says, before COVID-19, I used to eat out once every 2 weeks. Now it's once a month or 2 months. Yeah. Smoothies in my club. She's like, I eat out all the time, wasting money. Charles Smith Smoothie, you're not alone on that one. A lot of us have become victims of this because we don't actually look into the actual cost of eating out, and it's something that it has a very simple fix. And one thing I want to share with you guys is the concept of meal prepping, because many of the reasons why I believe a lot of American families eat out is simply because it's easier, and sometimes we're too tired or overworked and whatnot. And with the crazy life that some of us lead between working out, working, keeping up with the house, plus having to deal with nasty traffic and all the craziness of our lives, it's easier sometimes to just say, you know what, I'm not going to cook, to then have to do dishes and whatnot. And we tend to just go out. How many times we have seen people that, have food in the house, but yet still order out simply because of this reason. And I want to share with you guys some studies that have been spread around, regarding this topic. And it says the average American household spends about $3,000 a year dining out. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, remember that one person spending only on him or herself counts as a household too. Are you thinking there's no way you could spend that much? Well, let's take another look. If you go out for lunch Monday to Friday for a year, you might spend $10 a meal. And we know this. I'm going to tell you something, guys. This is something that was redacted in 2019 before all the craziness. We all know that a meal out, if you're being conservative, is at least $13 to $14 simply because of the staggering cost and the inflation in the food value we have today. So the $10 a meal, a pretty good deal at most dining establishments. This adds up to $50 weekly. It's also easy to spend that amount if you go out to dinner 2 or 3 times a week. And yes, if you order takeout or delivery, this still counts as dining out. Between delivery minimums and surcharges, you're paying almost as much to stay in. Spend $50 a week on a restaurant food, and in total, you're spending $2,500 per year, near the national average. This cash adds up to almost half of the average American's annual food budget. And if you're wondering what is the budget for food on the average American, I will tell you so. Trust me, because when you compare this with how much is spent per family, and like they said, this is just for one person, okay? Per person, you spend around an average of $11 to $13. So if you have a family, it's even cheaper to actually do groceries. And it says the average cost of groceries for US household is 4,643 based on 2019 data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. This works out to about 387 per month per household. Grocery spending has likely increased during the pandemic with people going out to eat less often. While you can use this average as a benchmark for your own spending, it isn't the best indicator of how much you or others can actually afford. And it goes about on how you go to the USDA to make actually food plans for yourself. And when you compare these prices to actually the prices of eating out, it adds up to a lot of money that you're spending. Because let's not forget, just because you're eating out, that doesn't mean you're not doing groceries. We're still doing those 43 grand or 42 grand, 4,200, I'm sorry, 4,200 a year in groceries. It's just that it's going to waste because we're actually also adding the 3,000 bill per year of eating out. And if you add those two things together, it's almost $10,000 that you're spending only on food. Just let that sink in for a second. Almost $10,000 in food. That is crazy. I see that Terrell says, I spend anywhere from $15 to $34 eating out. That's a lot, Terrell. And you literally, sometimes, to be honest with you, you don't even know what they're putting in the food. You don't know, sometimes they mess up your order and you end up even more frustrating. Whereas if you eat at home, sometimes you have more control of what you're putting in your system and it will translate in a better quality of life for you. So, I see that JS says it costs like $20 plus to order pizza where I live. Well, trust me, I live in the state of California and pizza is expensive. It's hella good, but very expensive. So definitely, guys, I wanted to, reach out to you guys and start approaching the situation in a different light. There are things we can do, and it's like I said, there is something that I see that Blood Moon says you also have to give a tip to the waitress. Not only that, but to be honest with you, this whole, I don't know if you guys have used recently DoorDash, Postmates, Uber Eats, and whatnot. The prices for the deliveries and the surcharges that they put now on are like super high simply because there's a shortage of employees. So you're not only paying for your food, and let's not forget that all of these platforms that sell you food, they sell you food at a 30% more price tag simply because these platforms charge these food establishments 30% more 30% of every order, I'm sorry, that they put out and deliver for them. So that is what they pay these companies, and they will bill you for that because obviously they're not going to take out of their earnings. So eating out has turned into a luxury, and we're all for it, you know. We're all up for it, and we all love it, and it's amazing to eat out, but we do have to actually simmer down this, and like I said, invest that money on something better, because it's fixable. Now, I would say that many of us do not like to cook every day, and I get that, but how about meal prepping? Buy yourself a lot of containers, pick a day that you're off, or a day that it's your last day, and then you go into the weekend, and that day start cooking all the meals of the week, and then you can avoid this situation, because honestly, it happens to all of us, and that is a money pit that eventually will cost us in the long run when you add up that stuff. I see that Jabronis Franklin says, my wife cooks for me when I go to work. Definitely, I cook for my fiance as well, because it's a lot of money. I see that Lord Hokage said, if we bring back housewives, people will be eating at home more. Not only that, the concept with the housewives and whatnot, it that should not be the excuse. And you guys know I'm pro families, I'm pro women being more feminine and doing more things. But to be honest with you, as a man, you also are supposed to know how to cook, because God knows when you're going to get a wife. And if you don't, you know what if you never marry? Are you going to depend on that wife? What if your wife passes away? Are you going to spend all that money out? So it's a responsibility that both people have to adopt, and learning how to cook and feed themselves. Because to be honest with you, I see that Terrell is going out. Bye, Terrell, have a nice one. To be honest with you, it's something that I learned how to cook very late, and I'm gonna say why. I used to be very independent. You guys know I have shared that I used to be very masculine. And I used to be like, you know what? I do not need to be in the kitchen. I'm going to be, this independent person. I'm going to continue my life, until one of my mom's friends, that she's a housewife, and a very successful housewife, by the way. She told me, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You can be all independent you want. That doesn't have anything to do with you cooking or not. But to be honest with you, the cost of eating out will make you lose a lot of money, especially if you're going to be independent and having only one income coming into your household. So eating out will cost you a lot of money in the long run if you don't know how to cook. It's time for you to actually learn how to cook to feed yourself. So that's not something that belongs just to women. It belongs to anybody. You need to learn how to cook simply because you have a mouth and you need food. I see that Blood Moon says you don't need to be a housewife. Women always do most of the cooking, if not all anyway. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We cook more than the average man, and that is something that's a fact. I see that Blood Moon says independent people need to cook for themselves. Yes, because if you're going to be an independent male, you have to understand that even though your goal might be marriage, you have to feed yourself today. And if you're still building your quote unquote empire, who's going to feed you? And like I said, what if you get divorced? What if your wife dies? What if you have children? Who's going to feed them? And it's not going to come easy to actually find another person that cooks for you. And regardless of the situation, you're going to end up having to pay. So it's always better to actually cook for yourself, become more independent, and save money by just implementing a few practices and eating in rather than out. And you will discover that, it's something that, you know, it will be beneficial for you, like I said, because eventually what's in your food better than just all these preservatives and crazy things that you don't know what they put in. And you're gonna realize that food will taste better, fresh, and it will motivate you to even learn how to do different things. I see that Lord Hokage said, find a new wife. Yeah, Lord Hokage, but we live in the real world. In the real world, you will have to at least, at the very minimum, put 6 months into a relationship in time before you can find a new wife. So in those 6 months, you're going to spend all that money eating out and not being able to, cook for yourself. Who's going to cook for? And I'm seeing this. I saw this with my father when my parents got divorced. My father did not even knew how to do nothing. And today that man is a chef. And he had to learn the bad way, which was he was by himself, having to cook for himself and, spending money outside all the time was not productive for him, even though he had his own company. So to be honest with you, you have to be able to learn how to cook regardless of your situation. This is not something that's based on gender. It's based on how savvy or intelligent you will be with your money. I see that the radical mother says, yup, I can cook and can make a mean cup of coffee, hazelnut coffee. You know what's crazy now that you mentioned the coffee? That is something that's one of my perks. You guys know I said it on my last show. I am guilty of having a coffee addiction, okay? And I invest in my coffee. I make my own caramel at home and whatnot because I like it. I love it. Melanated Night loves it as well. And we're trying to cut on the price of coffee, even though, yes, sometimes I still go to Starbucks, okay? Because why not? I see that Jabronis Franklin says, I'm bad at cooking, lol. Well, you know what? I was bad at cooking too. To be honest with you, like I said, I learned at 24 years old. I learned very late how to cook. And my first dishes were disgusting, but eventually, you get better and you start making your own recipes and doing all this kind of stuff that actually helps you. And you find ways on, how to prepare things that you actually like. Um, Lord Hokage continues with his stance, when he says, no, you just promote your side chick. Well, let me tell you something, if we're going by that rhetoric, a side chick does not cook because side chicks are often more masculine women that are career women or women that really don't have time and do not want to deal with you. I've seen a lot of them. They do not want to cook for men. They do not want to be promoted. And to be honest with you, good luck with that. I see that Christina is here. Hi, Christina. How are you? And Jose says, it's okay, Denise. I can function without coffee. Yeah, I've said it many times. If you have never seen a Puerto Rican, we have coffee at least 2 times per day. We need it. Is our core food. And to be honest with you, without it, we cannot function. Okay. I see that JS says, I prefer the Keurig machine for my coffee. I make it better than they do at the stores. You know what's crazy? Now that we're talking about coffee, a cup of coffee, a good one outside, will cost you anywhere from 550 to 680 per cup. And if you have two of those, that's like $12, $13 per day. Now you do the math, okay? It's not good. But I don't have a Keurig. I have an espresso because I like how it makes and presses the coffee better. But that's just my liking. And also, yeah, I can make my own caramel and it tastes amazing. I'm just sometimes a little lazy. I'm not gonna lie. And you know, it's like I said, it has become an addiction as I enter my 30s. Now I see Lord Hokage says, I have a rule: if I can cook better than a woman, then I don't mess with her seriously. Then you can cook. Stop saying that you're going to promote somebody because you're promoting something that's misinformation. You know how to cook then. So definitely, if you're able to feed yourself, then you're good. But it's time for us to actually understand the real cost of eating out and not following the lights when it comes to our spending. Now, if you think probably I'm wrong, I'm full of it, probably I don't know what I'm talking about. If you have an opinion that you want to share, I'm going to post the link below And you guys know that before I let people in, we always go into our intermission. And before we go into intermission, I wanted to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1, because sometimes things happen in Latin America or our Latin diaspora that I'm not able to, cover them all here on the channel. But I will definitely cover them over there and we can actually have a discussion. So, like I said, you guys, it's time for us, going back to the topic, it's time for us to actually, start being more intelligent with our money. And it starts from little things. Like I explained before, and you guys have seen with me the minimalism situation, and how that's the solution for many of our problems. And now with the eating out, this is another solution that can definitely be implemented. I hope you guys are implementing the minimalism, even if it's in a very small way. I hope it has saved you some money. And remember, you have to ask yourself, do I want this or do I need it? And I feel that a lot of us have become very lazy when it comes to this type of stuff, which eventually leads to all this stuff we're seeing now today with people being broke to even too broke to even pay for the basic things in life. So guys, like I said, I see that there's 15 people here. Make sure you like and subscribe. And also, if you can, donate to support this channel. If you can't, just simply like and subscribe because it helps the platform grow. And also, if you enjoy this content, make sure you tell your family and your friends and bring them back with you so that they can enjoy the show with us here. Now we're gonna go into a very quick intermission. It's 5:39 where I'm at. I will be back at 5:44. So go get your snacks, go to your little break, get your drinks, and let's get the discussion popping.
What I mean when I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel, what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what, do what? We got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop. Hey! What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Hey!
And we are back, people. We are back from our intermission. I hope you guys got your drinks together, got your few minutes to actually, recharge a little bit, and let's get the discussion popping. I see that Jose and Ramon are here. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Good
Hey,
evening, everybody.
hey.
Well, how are you, Ramon?
Can you? Okay. For a moment, I thought you couldn't hear me. How you doing, Denise? Thanks for having me on your panel. How you doing, Don Jose?
Good
Pretty
evening, Ramon. It's
good.
always good to hear from you.
Yeah, yeah,
Likewise,
definitely.
sir.
You've
Likewise
been a
to that.
little, you've been a little MIA, but I hope you had a great time. Spending
Yeah.
time with your loved ones and also being productive as usual. Now, on today's different topics, I wanted to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on this whole situation with Peru, and also what do you guys think about the real cost of eating out?
Um, well, first of all, I'm not gonna speak too much about the situation in Peru because that's something that I'm gonna need to study on my own. I don't like to speak on something that I'm not well versed in because I don't want to sound like a slow tap. Uh,
Okay.
But to be perfectly honest, I was kind of debating whether or not to show up tonight because tonight marks 1 year that my mother passed away. And in fact, if you've been to my social media, there's been many, you know, homages to my mother. That's the reason why I sent you a picture of my mom today because I talk about her so much. It's only fair that you see what my mother looked like.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. She's part of the family at this point. Now I see that Rakim joined us today. What's up, Rakim? How are you?
What's going on, Denise? What's up, Ramon? How you
Uh,
doing, Jose? How's everybody doing today?
Good evening.
Hey, what's
good,
going on, man?
good.
What's happening?
So, what do you guys think then on the topic today? And also, before we go to the topic, you guys saw the joke of the day, and I want to ask my fellow Boricua Ramon, what do you think about the Mr. Special high demands for the employees that are going to submit an application? What do you think about this? It's hilarious to me, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this whole, now necessity to not have even women with cleavage? You cannot even have sunglasses to go to an interview with Mr. Special. Okay, so definitely a lot of us will not be able to apply for a grocery store like this.
Well, if I can just chime in for a second, I mean, um, okay, me, I was taught that when you go to a job interview, you dress as conservatively as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, and you try to be comfortable because I actually have to go to a job interview in the middle of the summer, in the middle of a heat wave. So you can just
Mm.
imagine how uncomfortable I felt wearing a full business suit when it's like 95 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay, that's so. Um,
Imagine me wearing this to the job interview. And let
but
me tell you something. In Puerto Rico, it's hot as hell. So imagine people going like this for a job interview. Come on now.
I mean, I have an aversion to humidity. So could you imagine if I have to go to a job interview in Puerto Rico with a full business suit on,
Yeah,
and for a $725 a job? I mean, talking about being extremely demanding. I mean, now there's nothing wrong, go and make sure that you have a clean shirt, a clean pair of slacks, and make sure that that you dress appropriately.
yeah.
But to be mentioning not to have an excessive cleavage and not to wear changletas. I mean,
Yeah, but
really,
nobody goes with chanclas to a. Come on now, who? Okay,
Well, it depends on the
There's
job. It depends on the job that you are applying to, how you should be dressing for the interview. I mean, it depends on what you are applying for, obviously. But the thing is that when it comes to proper dress, proper attire for like a job interview, I have gone. It's not the norm to be dressing all the time like that, but I have been to job interviews in Puerto Rico with wearing a tie at least, not necessarily like a
yeah,
three-piece suit, but
yeah,
I have been, a proper pants and proper shoes and a button-down shirt with a tie. I have worn that to job interviews, so
yeah,
that's not out of the ordinary. But constantly having to dress a certain way because of the humidity on the island, the heat, the hot humidity on the island. You're gonna have to make sure to wash everything all the time because the color is gonna get stained real quick. I had to
yeah,
deal with that in my when I was
yeah.
when I was
Definitely, you
living and
need
working on
that.
the island. I had to deal with
You
that
need
all
that.
the time.
You need that OxyClean. You need to soak those shirts before you wash
Yes,
them.
yes,
You know, it's
yes.
insane. I see that.
I had to deal with that. Hmm.
Yeah, I see that Blood Moon says, I've seen many guys wearing jeans falling down and sneakers to job interviews. Let me tell you something. I'm with Blood Moon on this. If you're going to a job interview,
Yeah, but
needless to
That's an
say,
American
yeah,
thing.
needless to say is that people in Puerto Rico, to be honest with you, we try to look our best for job interviews. What we're seeing right now, and the reason why
Yes.
we're making a lot of fun of Mr. Special, is because people right now are going. Look, in the last 5 years, Puerto Rico has gone through a typhoon, then earthquakes, then
Yeah.
the C-19. So a lot of people don't have money to be buying suits and ties and stuff like that just to go to a job interview. They're going there because they need money. And that's the reason why. So if they don't have the money to purchase the things that you might think is acceptable, and the fact that they decided to say that you had to look a specific way, one thing is being professional and another one is just over demanding stuff for a basic job that is not even an office job. And that is the sentiment of a lot of Puerto Rican corporations right now when they demand bachelor's degree to be scanning onions in Mr. Special and like 3 years of experience.
Yeah.
I've seen the demands.
Excuse me, a bachelor's degree with 3 years of prior experience for $7.25 an hour job?
Yeah, for a 7.25 an hour job.
That's
That's
Yeah, and
that's
that's with a
crazy.
cost of living that is comparable. Yeah, yeah, it is crazy. With a cost of living that is comparable to, say, Mississippi or some other affordable southern state, it's comparable, the cost of living. So yeah, 7.25 an hour is just you're gonna be broke. You're gonna be broke and
Yeah.
yeah.
having
You
to
know
rent
that
Yeah.
in
a
Puerto
room
Rico,
somewhere in the projects.
look, when I was in Puerto Rico, I needed two jobs and a weekend job to actually just have a comfortable life. So you're overworked. Like that, literally, you're overworked if you want to live a decent life. So definitely, like I said, it's something that I was flabbergasted when I saw that. I was like, really? Like we just saw a casino demanding 5 years of experience. A bachelor's degree was necessary, it was a requirement. And on top of that, they said a master's was preferred.
That's crazy.
It
That's
is
crazy.
crazy. It is
No, it's
crazy.
no, it's not crazy. It's lunacy. And getting on the topic now, prior to COVID-19, I used to eat out once every 2 weeks and usually that would be on payday, where I would treat myself to a nice meal for lunch. And my union had various committee meetings. So in each of those meetings, they serve hot food. So there was not really much of a need to pay money to eat out or to cook. So I mean, and if you're as busy as I am, you can attend 2 or 3 meetings up per week. So that means 2, 3 nights out of the week. You don't have to cook. You have a nice hot meal all prepared for you. So ever since the onset of the pandemic, I think I probably might eat out maybe once every month or every 2 months. I mean, there have been times I've gone 3 months without eating out.
Yeah, definitely. And it's because we have lost also the importance of eating in, and with life, our lives getting more busy to keep up with everything that's going on. And, sometimes people have two jobs, and they cannot actually afford the lifestyle that they have, but a lot of the money goes into food, and we're not realizing just how silent this debt is, you
Hmm.
know and it's crazy because, like I said, we have all been very guilty of doing this as well. Now, what do you think, Rakim and Ramon, about this?
Me personally, I think you're absolutely correct because throughout my life, especially in my 20s, I've had that bad habit of eating out. And you sometimes you can just do it subconsciously without realizing how much money that you're losing in the process of eating out. You know, you take a day of McDonald's, a day of Burger King, and then if you're going on a date, you want to go to a nice restaurant to take your date, and that's going to be no less than $100. And going just to various places like going to Starbucks, getting yourself an iced chai tea latte and a Danish is around $12 in itself. So
Yeah,
once you add all of that money up and you sit and you add everything that you spent, you're looking at a good close to $200, and that's just
yeah,
within that 1 week, and that's the same amount that you would pay on a car note or a light bill or a water bill or various things like that. And sometimes people really don't even let's say even if you wanted to go purchase something and you may like, wow, I really would have liked that nice pair of sneakers, or I really would have liked it, that nice shirt. After all the money that you spent, including with your bills and various things like that, and the money that you spent eating out, you won't be able to purchase that shirt.
definitely, definitely. It's something that it goes
Yeah.
back to, look at the situation we're facing now with the whole attire, and to be honest with you, as Latinos, we're very guilty of this. So guilty. I see Latinos eating out every week and bringing the whole families. And you guys know we don't have just one kid, okay? We have several kids, and it's ridiculous the amount of money that we spend. And like I said, at the very least, if you're very conservative, 1 month of eating out, or at least 1 week of eating out, to all of these things, when you add it up at the end of the month and you balance your checkbook, is the cost of at least the insurance payment, at least, at the very least. So definitely something, that we have to look into. What do you think, Ramon?
I myself have been very guilty of doing that because it's convenient. It's very convenient when you're having the type of lifestyle that demands a lot of your time. And sometimes if you are working extra hours and you're working a few hours of overtime, you tend to tell yourself, okay, I'm working this overtime. I deserve to get something out to eat. At least I'm fortunate that I don't do Starbucks, because you know how there are
Oh,
people that
throwing shade, throwing shade.
there are people that well, I'm not saying because of you, Denise, or anybody on the panel. If you do Starbucks, great, but there are people that are kind of addicted to Starbucks, and just a little latte is gonna cost you like $8 or some stupid amount like that.
Yeah,
But I, I still have to admit that I have been guilty of having to eat out sometimes because I've had a long day. I've been working long hours, and I don't feel like fixing myself something at home. But now that I'm a little older, I am really making an effort to have more discipline and try not to eat rice because the rice is very convenient to cook up, and that was actually affecting me and keeping me overweight, along with the fast food, the eating out, and all of that. I'm really making an effort to change that and eating at home and just cut back on it. But you do waste a lot of money on that. You do spend a lot. You end up wasting like what, several over $10 every time just eating
Yeah.
out, just a quick lunch, and
And it's
it's
just
not
for
convenient
one
for me.
person. It's for
And
one person.
that's just for one person, and or you want to take you want to take treat a co-worker out, or you want to treat your relative or your family. It adds up in a short period of time. It adds up to a decent to a decent amount that could be used on something else. So yeah,
Excuse me.
definitely. Hmm.
Excuse me, Ramon. And on this case of Starbucks, I gotta defend Denise on this one because
Thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
No, I'm a big
because
Starbucks fans
because let
myself.
me because let me tell you something. I have coffee from Starbucks and I have coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the coffee from Starbucks is much better. So on this one, I'm gonna side with Denise on this one. Now I
Hmm.
remember one time, in fact, about 2 months ago, I had invited a female guest to my place, and so
Good interaction now.
Now we know
Uh-huh.
what's up.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
actually no, okay,
Keeping
actually
it to
no.
yourself, Don Jose.
So what I did was I ordered food out because that's I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not the best cook in the world, and I don't want my guests to die of food poisoning.
Oh,
So so I mean, and so when everything is said and done with the delivery and the food and whatnot, I paid about $60. I mean, that could have been groceries for, if not a week, maybe for half a week and what have you. It's just that I wanted to make sure that since my guest decided to grace my humble abode, then make sure that she at least got a good meal out of it, which she did.
okay.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm trying to. I am trying to fix more at home, trying to get the shortcuts into how I can do it easier myself at home. I was before I jumped on this live stream. I was because I was fixing something for myself and for my company, because I'm having a family member visiting, and I was just doing dishes, making sure that all the pots and pans were in the oven like we do.
Oh my
Right,
God.
Denny?
I told you. I told you.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to clean. We need to clean the oven. Okay,
Yeah.
it's time for us to
I
clear
know
it
you
out.
did. I know you told me,
Okay.
but still, it's hard to break with that tradition of putting all the pots and
No,
pans in the oven.
Ramon. No, Ramon. It's
Okay.
2021. Come on.
Actually, I don't put the pots and pans in the oven. I put it in the cabinet.
Uh-huh.
At
Yeah, I
least
put
You
I know
mine
see,
how
in the
we
to.
have
cabinet as well.
No,
we
I know
have
you
to
shouldn't
be
go
like we
there.
have to be like Jose. We need to be like Jose and definitely put all of this stuff back where it belongs. Okay,
Okay.
we need to
And
clear the kitchen.
and
Okay.
also
I'll try.
and also I might add too, once you make good choices in what you may want to cook, it can be a lot healthier to eat at home than versus eating out,
Yeah,
because
always.
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of people, we fall victims to those burgers and fries and that pizza and various things like that. And like what you were saying earlier, Denise, you don't know what's in the food these days. There's a lot of
Yeah.
preservatives, there's a lot of pesticides and various things that's on the fruit, and a lot of steroids that's in a lot of the meat and everything. So you have to be very careful. So it's very important to cook your own food, because at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and let me tell you
Yeah.
something. When I was in college, one of the jobs that I had, I was a manager at fast food. And to be honest with you, sometimes employees mess up. And if you don't keep these foods at a specific temperature, it will make the clients feel very bad. That is the case with Taco Bell, Chipotle, and all these places that after you eat them, they might taste good, but trust me, you're not going to feel good. And it's because of these temperatures and whatnot. And I would say if you eat the tomatoes at fast foods, shame on you.
Um,
Shame
Oh, I
on
picked them
you.
out. I picked them out.
No,
um,
no, order them without. Trust me. I'm saying this as a former fast food manager. Do not eat tomatoes from fast foods. Okay, that is the easiest way to get salmonella.
Well,
Uh,
And
another
trust me,
thing,
it's gross.
well,
an-
I don't eat tomatoes to begin with, so now you
I
just
love
gave
okay.
me.
tomato. I love tomato. Trust me. But
me too,
I
me
learned.
too.
I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way not to, and seeing it in front of me. I learned the hard way not to deal with tomatoes from fast foods
Well,
because fast foods order what's cheaper,
that's
not
true.
thinking of what's healthier because they want to maximize their profit. You were gonna say something, Rakim.
Yes, I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys remember, but do you guys remember this was about 10 years ago, or maybe even longer. But do anybody remember when Taco Bell actually had green onions on their menu and they used to actually put them in
Yeah,
various things? Well, they got rid of that because the green onions that Taco Bell were using had E. coli, and it was
Mm,
causing a lot of
yeah.
people to get sick, and some people even died from it.
And let me
mm,
tell you something. Now that you brought up the E. coli is present even in the water that we consume. In everything that you consume, there is E. coli because of the water. Because this is all reused water one way or the other. It's just that the E. coli levels that the nation considers still healthy and
mhm.
non-lethal are lower because of all the disinfectants and all the distilling process that this water goes through. But everything you consume, unless you grow it yourself with purified water, trust me, it has E. coli. And
What
when
about
it
bottled water?
well, I'm very peculiar with my water. I'm sorry. At
Yeah.
the risk at the risk of sounding like a snob or like a high maintenance person, but if you guys don't know, I'm very particular with my water. I only consume certain types of water. The rest, I don't know why, but the water to me, like this generic water, even if it's bottled, it tastes like spam to me. So I drink either Voss water or Smart water, or when I'm like trying to be more financially, conservative, I go for Aquafina. That's as far as I will go. If you bring me any other water, I will not consume it simply because I do not trust it, or also because it tastes weird. And it's crazy because I looked into it. And my father made us grow up in our house with distilled water all the time, and
Mhm.
sometimes even water from wells, from the manantiales. Ramon, have you ever had water from the manantiales in Puerto Rico?
Because I'm from the capital that didn't have access to it, so I did grow up with tap water actually. Even
Ah,
even even with the metal taste of the jugo de tubo, as we call it.
oh my God,
Uh,
no.
yeah, that's what I grew up with. Honestly speaking, it was only about 17 years ago, 18 years ago, when I started drinking more bottled water in
So
bottles
you
or
you
gallon
were the
bottles.
ones, you're part of the group of people that drinks pitusa water.
I did.
Oh
I
my
did.
God.
Some on
Hey, do,
Walmart or from the supermarket, whatever gallon water that I could get. But
No.
Ramon, you was
until
drinking
about
Great
uh-huh.
Value water. You was drinking Great Value water,
Not
Ramon.
lately, not lately, not lately.
Look,
I
I'm
have
with
been
Blood
having.
Moon. I'm with Blood Moon. I have a Brita filter in my sink, and I also
Yeah.
have a Brita pitcher. And I even filter the water. Look at how this is crazy. I have weird tendencies. I accept it.
Uh-huh.
I take the filter water from the Brita filter and put it in the Brita pitcher to be double to double the filtering process. because it's the only way I will be able to consume tap water. Okay, it has to be doubly filtered, otherwise I won't. And I try to not consume it. But to be honest with you, if you look even into the Dasani water or even Fiji water, like JS is saying, a lot of these waters have a lot of sodium because that is one way to actually clean the water in a more quote unquote holistic way or more green way, where you're not putting a lot of chemicals into the water. But to be honest with you, I drink, like I said, Voss,
Yeah.
Smart Water, or Aquafina.
Um,
Outside of that,
What
I'm so
about what
sorry,
about
but no,
essential? What about
excuse
no,
me,
essential?
no.
excuse me, Denise.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if I was to invite you to my humble abode, would I need to have a large supply of Boss or Smart
Yes.
Water or
Yes.
Aquafina?
Yes, you need to have
Yes.
at least 6 bottles.
Oh, right.
At least six
Are we talk?
bottles.
Are we talking about the 6 gallon, the gallon, the bottle gallons of water? Or are we talking about the 2 liter or what have you?
No, you can have, look, Smart Water has the 1 liter one. Now they have it with electrolytes. That will be good. From those, it's with three is sufficient. If it's Aquafina, the ones like 16 ounces and whatnot, then you need six. But definitely, if you guys are planning to invite me, you guys know I do not drink water. Do not take it personal.
Okay.
I
Well,
only drink a specific type of water. Okay.
well, it's you know what? It's okay because when I was talking about inviting my lady, a friend who was a female.
Hmm.
She's an Orthodox Jew, so she told me that I have to have paper plates and I have that paper cups. I have paper plastic silverware because of their dietary laws. So
Mm.
you know what I did? I actually bought the plastic silverware. I bought the cups. I bought the plates and whatnot. And actually, she didn't use them.
Ah, really?
But yes, and I went through all that trouble.
Oh, wow. I cannot, but no, I will consume the water. Trust me. I will consume the water. That is my thing. You guys can ask Melanated Night. I do not drink spam tasting water. I learned that from my mother. My mother is the same way. I don't drink tap water. I don't drink a lot of water that it's bottled in different ways. I'm very peculiar with that. I'm so sorry. You know.
All
Well,
right.
you know what? We each all
Look,
have
look at Melanated Night. It's like she doesn't. No, you cannot make me drink nasty water.
okay,
I can't.
but you know what? Something, Denise. Everybody have their own idiosyncrasies. So I guess if yours is that you have to drink a particular brand of water, you know, so be it.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could be like you have to like eat bread that's been toasted a certain way with the crust removed, and you
Oh
have to have like
no.
the right type of butter or
Ah, well,
Oh no,
I'm
that's too
particular
much.
with my butter, but not because of brands. It has to be butter. I don't eat spread because it doesn't taste the same. So yeah, I do buy actual butter, but I will not grill you if you have spread. My only thing that I'm very peculiar with is the water, and I'm being very honest. The rest, as long as it tastes good, I will eat it. But to be honest with you, the water I do not compromise in that. Blood Moon says water is nasty. Just add lemon or lime. Yeah, I don't even Blood Moon. Look, I'm even more my OCD in that aspect. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Even when I go even to restaurants that they give you a nasty water, I ask for lemon, and I've yet to taste a water that doesn't make me puke with the
Mm.
lemon or the
Mm.
lime. Oh my god, that's so gross. And
um,
they put it in such a beautiful glass, but it's so gross. I'm like, no, 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 no.
uh, Denise, at the you see at the job. uh, they have to give us bottled water because the reason why, because the water dispensers that they use at the job, it had Legionnaires bacteria.
Okay.
So we have to like, unfortunately, if we want water, we're gonna have to drink bottled water. So it's like, and I guess you will have a problem because it's not Boss or Smart or, I mean,
Aquafina. It's
no.
not. Oh wow. No, I will bring my own water. If that's the case, trust me, I will bring my own water and we're good. I don't make people jump through hoops with this. I buy my own water. The only person that, it's extremely gracious with me with this is Melanated Night. He knows I don't drink. And my father. I don't drink freaking spam tasting water. Hell no. Nope.
Me
Call me bougie.
personally,
Call me bougie, but go ahead, Turkin.
me me personally, I'm a big fan of essential water. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. They usually like sell it at, like, you can find it at Whole Foods and various things like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I believe it may be alkaline water,
Hmm.
but it's pretty good. It's called Essential.
That's the
It's called
best.
Essential.
I know which one you're talking about. That's the one with the black label and it's like a clear
Yes.
bottle.
Yes.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. And it has electrolytes as well. And let me tell you something. Now that we're talking about water, we're about to go back to the topic, but to be honest with you, with the electrolytes, you stay hydrated longer. So definitely that's a plus. That's why I said this nasty water and those. Let me tell you something. If the plastic of the bottle is not number one, it's unhealthy. Okay, I just want you guys to understand that
Ha-
that plastic that you can crush easily with your hand, and that's where the water is at. Oh, that's so cringeworthy to
Now,
me.
I'll tell you guys something. The worst water that I've ever tasted in my life, bottled water that I will never forget. It was a brand called Deja Blue. I remember tasting that
Whoa.
water.
Deja Blue.
Yeah, it was called Deja Blue. I believe it was owned by Pepsi or somebody like that. I remember
Ew.
tasting that water, and that water had the nastiest
Is
aftertaste.
that the one with the blue bottle?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I know which one you're talking. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Oh
I
my
was a teenager
god.
at the time, and
Oh.
the aftertaste tasted like I just licked the ashtray. That's exactly
Yeah.
how it
It's
tasted.
gross. It tastes like sweat. I
Uh,
don't. Oh, it's gross.
guys, guys, can I confess something to you?
Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
Okay, 2 years ago, when I went to Mexico, I stayed in a lovely resort. However, I didn't even bother with the tap water, not even to brush my teeth, because I was afraid of getting Montezuma's revenge. So what I did was I drank out of bottled water and I even brushed my teeth with it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the. Let me tell you something. The worst water that I have tasted is spring water. It doesn't matter the brand, you know, but somebody handed to me a friend that I shall not mention because I love that friend very much. He handed to me a bottle of Kroger spring water, and I didn't
That,
want it to be rude, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try, and I'm gonna try this, and it tasted, oh my god, it tasted so gross. It was disgusting. I was like, I wouldn't even use this to do my pedicure. This water is gross. It was so nasty.
But
Uh,
I mean, there are certain waters that you drinking out of a gallon bottle and it tastes like it's being filtered through a
Oh
piece of
my god.
cardboard, and that's just what it tastes like. Then nah, it's not something that I would recommend. Lately,
Yeah.
what I drink is basically out of jugs, Ozark jugs, and that's good enough for me. That
To
doesn't have
be honest with you,
any bad
the
aftertaste.
best water is Voss water,
Hmm.
because simply it tastes like nothing. And that's how I like my water, to taste like nothing, just water, to feel
Hmm.
refreshed. And Voss water still has that clean taste that I like.
what's the
um,
name of that water again, Denise?
It's Voss,
The
V O
boss.
S S, Voss.
I
It
got a
comes in
question.
glass
VOS.
or plastic.
I got a question. Is that sold in New York or is that sold only in Los Angeles?
I'm not sure because I've never bought this from any place in New York. But Voss Water has not been around like that long, so I wouldn't know. And I haven't been in New York in a while.
Well,
So if
okay.
not, buy Aquafina.
Well, you know what? They used to say that New York tap water was the best tasting tap water in the world.
Ugh. Ugh. With all that trash, I doubt it.
Ah, wow.
Probably the trash gives it like a better taste. Who knows? Ew. Anyway, guys, let's bring it back to the real cost of food. To be
Yes.
honest with you, what do you guys think? And final thoughts on the whole thing. But before I see that JS says, "Oh no, New York's water," and no, Blood Moon says New York tap water tastes like Clorox. Ew. Oh no. I want to share with you guys before you guys go. This Thursday, we're going to bring it home. Okay. This Thursday, we're going to talk about something that we do not want to talk, but it has to be said. And it's the fiesta has to end. If you want to know what I'm talking about, make sure you tune in this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, because it's going to be lit. Okay. Now I'm gonna go through the closing statements, but before, guys, I want to remind you guys to like this video, and also if you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel because it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me grow the platform. Now, Jose, final thoughts on the real cost of eating out.
Okay. I'm gonna ask for an additional 30 seconds. I usually don't make this request. Uh, the fact of the matter is, it can be very expensive to eat out, particularly if you're living in New York and your check does not stretch as far as you do. And also there's the issue is the question if the people are that are preparing the food, if it's going to feed you or it's going to make you the up chug. Please excuse the phrase. Um, So what I do is I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and what I do is after I get dressed and brush my teeth, I make my lunch, and it's a basic lunch. I'll have like a turkey sandwich with 2 pieces of fruit. That's my lunch every single day. I know it's boring as heck, but you know what? At least I know I'm making it. So at least if I get sick, I cause myself to get sick. Uh, as always, Denise, it's a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to be on the stream, guys. It's a pleasure to hear from you. As I always say, please be careful out there because there are mentally and intellectually challenged people that do not mean us well, and if we're not careful, we might inherit this stupidity. And the last part of my closing thoughts, it's going to be dedicated to my mom because today marks 1 year that my mother passed away. And I'm just going to say it in Spanish. El, Mami, te extraño mucho. Tú siempre viviré en mi corazón. Tú eras un guerrera fuerte. Hice tu papel a crear 8 hijos. Yo nunca voy a olvidarte. Tú siempre viviré en mi corazón. Y yo sé que un día, cuando llegue el momento, yo voy a estar en el cielo contigo, con papi, con mis hermanos. And just for those of you who do not understand Spanish, I just simply said that my mother was a special lady and that one day I will be with her in heaven.
Definitely. And I'm so sorry for your loss, Jose. And I'm glad that, you get to express yourself and also carry on your mom's legacy. And for all of you guys that do not know, Jose's Instagram is lit every time. It gets funnier and funnier. So make sure you follow Jose at cute1ny in Instagram, and you'll know what I'm talking about. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna put you backstage, Jose. Thank you very much. Now, Ramon, final thoughts on the real cost of eating out.
Well, I mean, it is as evident, but the cost of eating out regularly is not just the cost is not just in the pockets, but it's also on one's health over a period of time. Because a lot of the time, because of the convenience of it, we go for the fast food, and that's not that is all heavily processed, highly greasy, not non-nutritious. So that's an additional cost that is being passed on us, and that is when it comes to our health. In time, it can actually be very harmful. I cannot tell anybody to not do it because I have done it. Do it on occasion. On occasion, I do. But I try to compensate by eating at home as much as possible. Things that are better for one's organism, for one's system. So definitely try to do it as little as possible if you can't eliminate it altogether. But there is also the cost, the financial cost, because that do adds up, and anybody and everybody that does it are free to kind of like uh, take a piece of paper with a pen and start writing down for a period of, like, say, a week or even a month, the daily cost, and then tally the numbers, out of the numbers of every time they eat out, and how much does it add up, and so they can actually see it, and you have the numbers staring right back at you, telling you this is how much you're spending. You
Yeah.
need to do something about it and control it, so you can have a little more money for other things. I know it's difficult. I know that it is convenient to have it the 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 fast food, but there is a cost, financial cost, and there is a health cost, unless you are always eating Subway. Not necessarily Subway, but unless you are making an effort to actually eat out, but eat out healthy and making good choices when it comes to that. And in to end that, I appreciate you, Dennis, for letting me on your panel. And I finish with one question really quick.
Go ahead.
One of the subjects that you were talking earlier was about the situation in Peru. I admit that I didn't have a chance to get myself informed of it, but apparently there is an issue when it comes to the to who won the presidency, because it's a far left and a socialist candidate that apparently is going to become president. I had
Yeah.
a chance to read a little bit on it, but from the opposing party, there is a name that stood out to me, and the name is Keiko Fujimori.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Fujimoris are the ones doing this whole because they're a far right move, a far right party, and they have been
yeah.
in power for a while. I think he wanted to inherit it to his daughter.
Okay, yeah, because I figured that she must have been related with Alberto, who was the president back in the day, Alberto
Hmm.
Fujimori,
Yeah,
and he was involved in these corruption scandals and all of that. And when I saw the Fujimori name, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a continuation, or it was gonna be
hmm,
like a dynasty type of thing, where it was kind of like passed down like a monarchy,
yeah.
the
It's
leadership
kind of
of the
like
country.
it's kind of like Chemo Soto and Lorna Soto,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. If you guys
okay,
don't know, in Puerto Rico, there's a municipality called Canóvanas,
yeah.
and the father Chemo Soto was like the worst mayor ever, and
Ah,
then he basically inherited the municipality to his daughter, and now she's running it in the worst way. So look it up. You're gonna have a lot of fun because she's hilariously dumb.
oh.
Continue, Ramon.
Yeah, yeah, but that was something that it kind of stood out to me, and I do need to do a little more reading as to what happened, because I'm sure that there are people that are not very happy about the fact that somebody that is apparently socialist is
Yeah.
going to be taking control of the presidency. But again, I have to get back to my visitor, because I got company here. So, but I did wanted to take a little time to check out your live stream. So I appreciate you letting me on. I know that I was late once again, but like I
No,
say, I
don't
was kind
worry,
of
don't
like
worry.
doing my thing and then having to do dishes and putting the pots and pans in the oven.
Oh my
And
God.
so I have to go back to that and tend to my visitors. So thank you, Denise,
No,
and
thank you,
you guys
Ramon.
and you guys take care. And I'm looking forward to the next one, definitely. So
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
On Thursday, the fiesta is going to end on Thursday. Okay,
Okay.
so thank you, Ramon, very much. Have fun with your loved ones. Okay, I'm gonna put you backstage now. I see that before I let Rakim and his closing statements, I see that Blood Moon says, "Why can Peru deport those Asians?" To be honest with you, Blood Moon, I have no idea. But in my opinion, of course, is that they have been in power for so long. They're a very powerful family in Peru. So we'll see what Pedro Castillo does. I don't think he's going to be very soft with them. I think he'll try to fight them, but right now his priority, if he is to succeed, he has to focus on the people and be benevolent. Even if he's a dictator, a benevolent dictator, kind of like the U.S. is. Now I'm gonna let Rakim go. Rakim, final thoughts on the real cost of eating out.
Oh well, my final thoughts is yeah, it's a double whammy. Like what Ramon was saying, it definitely takes an effect on it. It definitely takes an effect on your health and your pockets because food is so expensive nowadays. And then with a lot of the grease, the fat that it's cooked in, if you're eating like chicken, beef, and pork, and a lot of dairy within your food, and if it's fried, it'll definitely start to weigh on your health. And it's just more healthy to eat at home, and it's more cost efficient as well. Like for instance, me personally, for a great with it being hot and a great summer treat that'll that you can prepare really quickly in 12 in the afternoon. Me personally, I cut up some cucumbers, add olive oil, salt and pepper, have my watermelon on the side, my honeydew melon on the side, and that's even more healthier than going and buying some burger fries and a milkshake that's going to cost you a good 13 to 15 bucks.
Yeah.
And after you look at everything, once everything adds up, you start asking yourself, was it really worth it to go spend all of this money, for this food? So I agree. You should just like try to cook as much as you possibly can. A great alternative to white rice is brown rice, and what Blood Moon suggested earlier within the comment section, barley. So try to cook that. Make better health choices when it comes to purchasing food at the grocery store, and it'll uh, help affect your pockets as well in a good way.
Yeah, definitely go to the Whole Foods and whatnot, even if it's a little bit more expensive, or the Trader Joe's. I don't know if you guys have that in the East Coast,
Yes.
but yeah, definitely go to Trader Joe's and whatnot, and spend your money there because the food quality is obviously better, and it lasts a little longer, and the veggies are even more fresh, and you can decide from which foods have pesticides and whatnot. And like I said, with the tomatoes, for example, that's a very huge way where you can get salmonella. So you have to be very careful with what you put in your mouth nowadays.
Yes, and make sure that you clean your, because I'm a big fan of tomatoes as well. Cherry tomatoes, um, regular tomatoes. I'm a real big fan of them. So make
Yeah.
sure that you get some type of veggie wash and wash your vegetables, and also let your vegetables sit in water and vinegar, and clean your vegetables to get rid of those pesticides. If you can't afford to purchase organic, I know that food can be expensive sometimes when purchasing organic, but whatever you can do, just try to make sure that you clean your vegetables and everything and have a real healthy home cooked meal.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Rakim, for joining in. I'm going to put you backstage. And guys, definitely, it's something that we discussed already. Bloodmoon says I wash tomatoes with dish soap. Oh my God. Oh my God, Blood Moon, you crack me up. But I mean, well, it's better than the pesticides. Let's just say that. But guys, I want to remind you, for those who are still here that did not watch it earlier, this Thursday is gonna be lit. the fiesta is going to end Thursday. So make sure you tune in at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, so that you can see the fiesta end and be a participant of it. You know, it's something that it has to be discussed. A lot of people are going to get sensitive. The little glass generation is going to get irritated, but we have to discuss these topics. Now, before I leave, guys, I want to say that you have to evaluate more. It's not that you have to be restricted or that you have to, you know, go into a whole radicalized situation where you don't eat out at all, but something that must be learned from other groups of people that tend to eat in more likely. You know, we have to understand these things so that we don't, because like I said with the minimalism as well, when you purchase things, what you're purchasing them with is not just money, it's your time. You invested time and effort in making that money and you're letting it go away that easily. So it makes really not a lot of sense. Because in a day, let's say you make a day $120, but you're spending $40 on food, how much you really made a day? And that is before taxes for a lot of people. So definitely, like I said, you have to look into these things, and that's only for you. So if you have a spouse or you have children and you buy them food outside, honey, like we said in Puerto Rico, en casa y arroz y habichuela, okay? So definitely make sure you eat more at home. Enjoy it. Buy yourself. Look, take this from me, you know, rather embrace the candle living and buy yourself a nice candle and, you know, make a nice dinner. Go to your local Trader Joe's and buy some eucalyptus or whatnot, some fresh flowers that's like $6, $8 a bunch or whatnot, and then just set the table and have a nice meal at home. Trust me, the experience will be more healthy, better, and more holistic for you and your loved ones. So I hope you guys have learned something today from what we discussed. Before I leave, I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1, so that you can keep up with what I'm doing in between shows. And also, you can keep up with what's happening in Latin America and in our Latin diaspora here in the United States. I know there's a lot of things that I wish I could have the time to cover, but sometimes it's impossible. And before I go, I want to give a big shout out to all the people that are coming in. Make sure you like the video. Sundown says, Blood Moon, my mom used bleach for tomatoes. Wow, that's crazy. But I would rather use the dish soap that Blood Moon uses, Sundown. But guys, this has been for today. I know, like I said, I'm sorry I was late. Today was leg day for me. It was, honey, it was crazy. But, you know, we started the week right. And, you know, if you have not done so, it's time for us to also, as we stretch our social muscles, stretch our actual muscles and go to the gym, okay? We're all in this fatty life that we gained with COVID-19. It's time to go back to normal. It's time to go work it out. So I'll see you guys Thursday. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been another episode of Latinsplaining with Denise Gonzalez, all about business and finances. Have a nice one. Peace.